Hey guys, so you are watching this video because you are having some trouble with least common multiple or greatest common factor. And as I looked through your guys' practice on this and like what questions you missed, and then even your reworks of how you were trying to rework the question to the right answer, these are things that I saw we need to work on as a class. So the first thing is, what is the difference between a factor and a multiple? I don't think we know that. I don't think we know what a factor is, and I don't think we know what a multiple is. And then after we know that, how do we find least common multiple, or LCM, of two or more numbers? And we're also going to work on how to find the greatest common factor, or GCF, of two or more numbers. This video is going to go through all three of these points. And I will come and ask you questions here after this video about what you learned. And I'm going to ask these three things. So make sure you're kind of paying attention throughout the video. What is the difference between a factor and a multiple? How do I find least common multiple? How do I find greatest common factor? So let's go to that first question. A multiple is found by repeatedly adding a number. And because we can add a number over and over and over and over again, multiples will go on and on forever. Okay, it will never ever end. So, to maybe help you remember this, I found this poster, Multiple Monster Makes Numbers Bigger. And there's all kinds of examples of multiples on here. For example, the multiple of 3. All of them are listed: 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. We get those by just adding the number 3 over and over again. 3 plus 3 is 6. If I add another 3, I get 9. If I add another 3, I get 12. If I add another 3, I get 15. If I add another 3, I get 18. If I add another 3, I get 21, and that dot, 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 that's because this keeps going. If I added 3 more to 21, I'd have 24, and I could keep adding 3, and all of these guys are multiples of 3. So factors are different. They are not repeatedly adding a number. Factors are numbers that divide exactly or evenly into a number. So the example you're looking at here is all the factors of 24. 1 times 24 is 24, so 1 and 24 are numbers that will go evenly into 24. 2 times 12 is 24, so 2 and 12 are numbers that will divide evenly into 24. 3 times 8 is 24. So 3 and 8 are numbers that will divide evenly into 24. 4 times 6 is 24. So 4 and 6 will divide evenly into 24. Because 1, 24, 2, 12, 3, 8, 4, and 6, because all of these numbers divide evenly or exactly into 24, they are all the factors of 24. So hopefully now you understand the difference between multiples of a number and factors of a number. So now let's go to how to find least common multiple, or some people call it LCM, or we'll have that sometimes where we'll call it LCM. So the first step, step 1, is to list out multiples of the numbers. Remember, multiples can be found by repeatedly adding a number. So multiples of 4, the first one being 4. If I add 4 to that, I get 8. And then I add another 4, I have 12. And I add another 4, and I have 16, and it keeps on going. I keep on adding 4. And 40 isn't the last multiple of 4. These could keep on going. You just kind of stop at a certain point, and you might have to add more, and you might not. And then we're going to list out the multiples of 6. So it starts out as 6, and I add 6 and get 12, and then I add another 6 and get 18, and so on. And again, 60 is not the largest multiple of 6. We kind of just end at a certain point. Okay, let's go on to step 2. Circle the common multiples of both numbers. And what we mean when we say they have it in common is it's a multiple that they both have. So if we look at our list of multiples of 4, and we look at our list of multiples of 6, let's look for multiples that are both in the 4 list and in the 6 list. So the first one I see is 12. I see that in both the multiples of 4 list and the multiples of 6 list. Let's see here. Do we see another one? Yes, 24 is a common multiple of 4 and 6. And, oh, there's one more. 36 is also a common multiple of 4 and 6. So there's lots of common multiples of 4 and 6. We could keep going on and on. 48 would be the next one. The next common multiple of 4 and 6. There's lots of them. And that brings us to the very last step of finding the least common multiple. Well, least kind of clues you in to mean small, okay? We want to choose the smallest common multiple. So 12, 24, and 36 are all common multiples. The smallest one is 12. So the least common multiple of 4 and 6 would be 12. Okay guys, so the last thing we need to work on is how to find greatest common factor, or sometimes we call it GCF. So step 1 is to list out all the factors, and that's the big number. List out all of them, okay, of both numbers. So factors of 18, you can see I did 1 times 18. I'm trying to think of any two numbers I can multiply and get 18, because I know those are numbers that are going to go into 18 evenly. So 1 and 18 are factors of 18. 2 times 9 is 18, so both of those would go into 18. 3 times 6 is 18, so I know both of those go into 18. And how you know you have them all is when you start to get numbers that are really, really close together like that, and you kind of work your way down. That is all my factors of 18. So now factors of 24. Again, I listed out all the numbers I could think of that would multiply together to give me 24. Because I know those are numbers that are going to go into 24 evenly. So 1 times 24 is 24, so both of those are factors. 2 times 12 is 24, so those are factors. 3 times 8 is 24, and those are factors. And 4 times 6. And again, I kind of went in numerical order here on my way down, and I'm getting numbers that are really close together. So that's how I know, hey, I got them all. So once I have all the factors of both numbers, then I go to step 2. I'm going to circle the factors that both numbers have in common. So let's see, I see the number 1 in both lists. So that's a common factor. I see 2 in both of them. So that's a common factor. I see 3 in both of them. So that's a factor that they have in common. Let's see here. Are there any more, guys? Yeah. 6 is also a factor that they both have. So that's a common factor. So 18 and 24 have 1, 2, 3, and 6 as common factors. So the very last step, once I have all the common factors, which again it was 1, 2 was a common factor, 3 was a common factor, and 6, I just got to choose the largest one because I'm looking for the greatest common factor. So the largest one here would be 6. So the greatest common factor of 18 and 24 is 6. All right, guys, I hope you learned a lot, and be ready to answer those questions at the very beginning.